Toxic shame, or the lack of self-love and self-esteem, is the living heart of codependency. It's the main driver of all of the other symptoms of codependency. But the root cause of toxic shame is self-doubt, or a lack of self-trust, or fear of who you truly are when in your power. If you have fear about who you truly are when in your power, such as that it will make you arrogant or abusive, or whatever the words are, it means that you don't trust yourself. So if you don't trust yourself, you then get caught in a kind of limbo where you think you know who you are, or maybe you actually do know who you are, but you don't have complete certainty about who you are because you fear that if you really stepped into owning the good qualities that you think or you know that you have, it might make you arrogant or abusive or whatever the words are. You either have no idea or at best some idea of who you are, but your understanding of who you are or your identity is not robust and complete. You then go through life seeking external validation for who you are. Whether that means you don't know who you are at all and you need other people to tell you in full, or you think you know who you are but you need confirmation, or you know who you are but you still don't feel secure owning it, for the above reasons about fearing who you might turn into if you actually stepped into owning who you are. All of this is a manifestation of self-doubt, which is the same thing as a lack of self-trust. It stands to reason then that if you, hypothetically speaking, did trust in yourself, that you did trust in your essential goodness as a person, and that no amount of owning the good qualities that truly make you stand out in the world would make you a bad person, then you would no longer need external validation from other people in order to validate your identity and feel good about yourself. This self-doubt is the single underlying insecurity that makes fawning codependents vulnerable to narcissistic abuse. If you don't know who you are with certainty, well, that's going to be a very lonely and painful experience for you, whether you are conscious of that pain or not. And whether you are conscious of that pain or not, you are going to look for people who can reflect back to you who you think you are, or at the very least reflect back to you who you want to be. And you will look for those people also consciously or unconsciously. So when a narcissist comes along, this is someone whose only way of being in relationships is by imposing their reality on others, i.e. gaslighting, and tells you who you are, you will thank them for it. It takes away your pain of not knowing with certainty who you are, because you're getting positive external validation from them. Because in the beginning of the narcissistically abusive relationship, for reasons we'll discuss in another video, you are seen as perfect by the narcissist. And thus all the reflections that you get from them take away your insecurity. So they make you feel secure. This is why narcissistically abusive relationships are so addictive and so difficult to escape from. Is because the initial drug that got you hooked to the relationship in the first place satisfied an incredibly deep and important need within your psyche, which is to feel secure. But obviously it is most absolutely definitely not secure, because it's a manipulation that is employed for the sole purpose of controlling you emotionally, which is what happens. But in the beginning, you will thank the narcissist for essentially making you feel secure about who you think you are. So you trust them over your own intuition and judgment. And so you rationalize and minimize and deny away all the red flags that you see because you don't trust yourself. Spirit tapping restores self-trust and cures codependency, and thus can single-handedly extricate you from the control of narcissists in your life by helping you to become aware of the invalidity of the fears that you have about who you truly are or who you might be when truly in your power. When you can consciously appreciate that the fears that you have about owning who you are invalid and therefore you need not fear them, you begin validating your own reality and identity and find that you actually can trust yourself. You probably do love yourself because it is in your nature to be self-loving, but you have been hampered in owning that self-love because you lack self-trust. The removal of self-doubt from your psyche therefore takes with it any toxic shame or lack of self-esteem and self-love that you have. Thus, with self-trust restored, and thus your self-love is restored too, supported by a foundation of self-trust, you no longer have need of the 5 core or 5 secondary symptoms of codependence. You're left with your essence, with your spirit, with who you are, without the insecurities blocking your spirit from just being. This is why I call spirit tapping. When you remove the blockages from your mind and body, you are simply left with your essence, with your spirit, with who you are. And codependency is a departure from essence or spirit. You take away the codependency and you're left with your essence, with your spirit. When you restore your self-trust through the spirit tapping process, your codependency will disappear, along with any and all narcissists in your life that have been dependent on you for narcissistic supply. You will be free to direct your life freely as you choose to, with love in your heart for yourself, for others, and for the world. Go and watch my spirit tapping video. As always, if you liked this video or you got value from this video, then please smash the like button and hit subscribe to flip the mirror. This channel has only been in existence for less than a month, and there's already enough content on here for you to at least make very significant headway in escaping from or surviving narcissistic abuse and recovering from the long-term effects of narcissistic abuse and codependency. Book a coaching session with me if you're needing one-on-one recovery advice or counseling. The link to that, as always, is at the bottom of the description of this video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you again soon. All the best now. Bye.